are talking about how to make every day the best day ever. Small bar, yeah. So we're going to give you some good tips and tricks to get out there and start feeling motivated every day. Not just once in a while, every day. Hi, and welcome back to The Conversation Continues with Global Holistic. My name is Gina Goodwin-Riley. I'm a licensed clinical mental health therapist, a wellness expert, and a master life coach. I'm also an attorney and have been pretty successful at conflict coaching as well. And today I'm here with...
Hi there, I'm Lisa Goodwin. I'm a master life coach. I'm an advanced hypnotherapist. I also teach mindfulness and meditation. I've been an international yoga teacher 30 years now.
And today we are talking about how to make every day the best day ever. Small bar, yeah. So we're going to give you some good tips and tricks to get out there and start feeling motivated every day. Not just once in a while, every day. So
love it.
We want to start by acknowledging that this is hard, that a lot of times we wake up and we have our bodies are kind of flooded with adrenaline and our cortisol levels spike and we feel anxious out the gate. And the first thing we do is check our phones, right? Our work emails. And that can just kind of set the whole day up for stress. So we want to start by looking at what you're doing in the morning that might be moving you towards the best day ever or moving you into one of the more stressful days ever. And that is something that I think we both agree, because we talk a lot about this, that if you can fight that impulse first thing in the morning to check your phone, that is going to be tremendously impactful. And I would suggest, instead of checking your phone, put a tall glass of water next to your bed and drink the entire glass of water. And in that moment, remind yourself that the next thing to do is to get centered and get grounded and get mindful, because that water, right, that drinking of the water can send that message to your body that I'm taking care of you. And, you know, I know we're going to have a lot to say, and this conversation will flow, but I think that after drinking your glass of water, setting the intention that you want for the day, whether your definition of the best day ever is being extremely productive or getting a lot of self-care or just being an inspiration to people in your community, get clear on what your intention is, because what we think about first thing in the morning is going to start to have a self-fulfilling prophecy throughout the day. So I might do something like, you know, as cheesy as it sounds, I'll be like, this day is going to be the best day ever. I can already feel it. These are some things I'm grateful for already. And I will do my gratitude list. I'm grateful that I'm healthy right now. I'm grateful that I have a comfortable bed and got a good night's sleep. I'm grateful that I have a job that I love. And listen, I know that I hear a lot when we suggest that from people that it's not as easy to be grateful in different phases of your life. So it doesn't have to be big things to find to be grateful for. You could be grateful for your health. You could be grateful for having a good hair day. You could be grateful for a good egg sandwich that you're going to make for breakfast. You could be grateful for coffee. That is something that I'm very grateful for. You know, so what do you think, you know, in terms of setting yourself up for the best day ever? What are the big kind of bullet points that you do? I know we'll get into exercise and sunlight and mindfulness too, because those are going to be our kind of our capstones.
Yeah. I love that we're talking about this today, because I really believe most people don't give enough thought or intention to their mornings. And you know, if you think about it, the morning is kind of like the foundation for the whole day. Yes. And I use the word foundation because, you know we need a strong foundation if anything's going to be able to be put on top of it. If you're on the 16th floor of a building, you're going to hope that there's a strong foundation, right? You want to make sure there's a strong foundation in a business, in a relationship. Well, what about creating a strong foundation for your day? Because your start, it's going to be important for whatever the day throws you. And so if you have that strong start, you're going to find that you have increased coping skills, and you're going to find that you have more to give throughout the day. So I love that Gina brought up the cell phone, because sometimes I find out my clients start their day on their phones. I think it's becoming more and more common. Some people turn the TV on in the morning and watch the news. And
Oh,
so I know. So here's the deal. I'm all for checking your phone and watching the news just later, not
mm,
first thing in the morning. Don't make that part of your foundation, because if you have a strong foundation, then whatever you watch on the news later in the day, you'll be able to handle better, or whatever you have to deal with or address on your cell phone, answering emails and so forth. Okay, so we're going to use that habit or that ritual of using your phone in the morning. And I'm going to say that after you have that glass of water, after you do perhaps some breath work, mindfulness meditation, I know Gina's going to talk more about that. Then I'm going to suggest that you use your cell phone and put on some positive affirmations while you're getting ready. So it's not going to take away any time for your day, and it's just going to be in the background. And positive affirmations to kind of give you that healthy breakfast. We feed the body. I want you to feed the mind and the spirit. So making sure also, if I might add right now, just waking up even 10 minutes earlier. So if you're that person who hits that snooze button, I'm going to invite you to do like a little human experiment. Instead of hitting the snooze button, I'm just going to have you sit up in bed, and then do one of Gina's suggestions of meditation or breath work, and then go ahead and get out of bed so that you're not rushing around and stressed. One of the key points I'll make right now is having a calm morning, not adding stress yourself to your day. Sometimes we can't handle the stress that comes at us out there, but we can certainly make some changes if we're actually adding to the stress of our start. So I'll give it back to G now, and we'll kind of go back and forth, because I know we both have a lot we want to talk about.
It's so important, right? Because I love how you said our mornings are the foundation for the day, because I always talk about what we do in the morning and what we do in the evening as bookends to our day, right? And
Yeah.
it kind of sets the tone.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about here is like when you first wake up, you're kind of in that dream state. So the first things that you do are going to be very important to your mood throughout the day. So if you can take that first 30 minutes, and as Lisa was just saying, fill it with positive affirmations, fill it with intention, fill it with gratitude. That will carry out throughout the rest of the day. It's like what we do in the morning becomes the backdrop to the rest
Yeah.
of the day. I think of it almost as like music. It's like what we create in the morning is the sound list for the rest of the day. If you're a music person, if you're in a high vibration, kind of like excited vibration in the morning, that's going to carry out through the day. And what we're also talking about is that concept of building your window of tolerance in the morning, because we don't know what's going to happen throughout the day. Things are very unpredictable. We could do
Right.
all of our self work. We could have this lovely meditation. We could exercise. We could have some sunshine. We could do our positive meditation, and we could get in our car and get to the end of the street and get a pop tire and have an important meeting that we now know we're going to miss. And so what's really important about the window of tolerance is all of those things that we're suggesting you do in the morning to build a solid foundation, like meditation, like positive affirmations, like drinking a lot of water, eating a healthy breakfast, taking some vitamins and minerals, giving yourself an extra 10 minutes so you're not running stressed. That's going to build your window of tolerance. So when the inevitable thing happens, it may not be a pop tire, but it might be something else. Somebody flicks you off on the way to work. You realize you're low on gas and you forgot your credit card, whatever the case may be, you have space to hold that. So it's not going to pop you. It's not going to end you. It's not going to create the worst day ever from this one tiny thing that happens, right? So we always want to be paying attention to where we're at and kind of checking in where our window of tolerance is. And these tips and tricks that we give you on our channel, a lot of them are about expanding that window of tolerance, taking 5 minutes to breathe, taking 5 minutes to journal, taking 5 minutes to just go outside and get some sunshine when things are getting heated with a coworker. All of these things help expand your window of tolerance so you have the bandwidth to handle life. I think one of the biggest mistakes that we make, because I hear this all the time, is assuming bad things only happen to us. Why is it that I have such bad luck? I always get the pop tire. I always, am running late, or I always have the coworker who is not so kind. But doing this line of work and working with, I think the two of us could speak to this because we've worked with thousands of people at this point. This is very common. This has become the modern human experience. The modern human experience is going to come at you, and there's going to be things that are challenging almost every day. It doesn't mean that you can't still have the best day ever. And that's where we change our perspective. And something that I do in the morning is I set myself up for success by saying, whatever comes at me today, I will be graceful, I will be classy, I will be composed, I will be at peace, and I will get through it. And I step into my strengths. And that's part of the meditation I do every morning, is kind of stepping into that strength, that power, that trust and faith that I will be able to get through whatever happens to me today. And yeah, granted, like some days are easier than others, but I always hold space for the hard meeting or the hard conversation or the hard client that comes in and, something big just happened in their lives, and that we on this end have to be able to hold space for that. So it's kind of like in the morning checking in, because I think we carry our stress from the day before. So being kind of in the moment and assessing, where's my window of tolerance today and what can I do to expand it? Is it extra time in the shower? Is it a steamed cup of milk in my coffee? Is it time to do the New York Times crossword puzzle? Like whatever your thing is that brings you to calm and expands that window of tolerance, you want to give yourself at least 15 minutes in the morning to explore that. So really giving a list. So far we have: set your timer a little bit early, wake up about 10 minutes earlier than you would so you don't feel rushed. Drink a tall glass of water, which is going to remind you to do some mindfulness work. If you have an app, and there are some wonderful apps out there like Calm, there are some great guided meditation apps out there. That would be a great place to start, to just pick a 5 or 10-minute guided meditation. But if you don't, that's okay. YouTube has so many wonderful guided meditations.
We have so many.
We do. We have a meditations category on our YouTube channel, and we have a positive affirmation.
Right.
Actually, now that I'm remembering, we have positive affirmation meditation where you can click that, and it is just positive affirmations through everything you're doing in the morning. I'm going to link that in this video so you guys have access to that. But there's so many good content out there. There's so much good content out there. So if you're not one of those people who are there yet for a silent meditation, there are guided meditations out there for you. Now, if you are a person who has some meditation practice and you're good in a space of meditations every 10 minutes, when you wake up, awesome, great, right? Whatever you can do to get to calm. And then I'm somebody who, this might be a little controversial, but I'm just going to say it. I'm somebody who feels like taking a shower and putting on nice clean clothes and doing a little bit of touch up, whether it's like a quick shave if you're a guy, or just a little bit of lip gloss and a little bit of hair product if you're a girl. It doesn't have to be a huge routine. I promise you, my routine in the morning to get ready is about 10 minutes after my shower. I take a shower and then I allow myself 10 minutes to get ready. It doesn't have to be a big time commitment, but I think that when we set ourselves up for success, when we dress the part for success, we're more likely it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So taking that, just kind of 10 minutes to make sure you're not in a wrinkled shirt, those kind of things, I think can subconsciously tell us like, we got this, we got the day. So paying attention to that as well.
Yeah, and making sure that you have that extra time so that you can actually enjoy self-care and whatever self-care means for you. So I think, if I can stress anything, it would be the importance of giving yourself enough time in the morning to not feel rushed. So if you are a morning person and you can do a little bit of stretching, a little bit of exercise, go for a walk outside, even, just any kind of movement, you'll find that really adds to the day. And if you're not a morning person, don't give up. It's interesting. I was never a morning person, but I slowly kind of shifted my schedule so that I could start enjoying my mornings. And so you can start with 10 minutes earlier and then another 10 minutes earlier, and you can gradually increase so that you can get some movement in the morning, which really contributes to the day. Gina had mentioned that, when you're waking up, you're in that dreamlike state. So with hypnosis, that means the door to the subconscious mind is open. So when you first wake up, I really want you to be conscious of what you're listening to, what you're reading, because that door to the subconscious is open, and we want to make sure that we become conscious creators rather than unconscious creators. And what I mean is that we actually get proactive in having the best day ever. And so we want to imprint in the subconscious mind, more positives and feel goods. That's why I mentioned the affirmations. If you're not one to sit in silent meditation, as Gina had mentioned, the guided meditation or guided hypnosis is excellent. Now, also, what I want to offer is real personal. So if it aligns with your path, some kind of prayer, some kind of connection with a power greater than you, whatever your belief system is. For me, prayer is extremely important. And I make a little bit of a joke because I say, you get into your car and you put your seatbelt on. And I think at this point, we're not putting our seatbelts on because it's a law. I think we're putting our seatbelts on because we're intelligent. We know it's going to increase our risk for safety. Well, I look at prayer and meditation as my spiritual seatbelt. So every morning, oh man, I don't want to go out there without putting that spiritual seatbelt on. And, I have had clients say, well, I'm a little embarrassed. I don't know how to pray. And really, it's just speaking from your heart to your higher self and a connection to an energy, a source of love, light, again, whatever your belief systems are, but inviting, that guidance, being grateful. And my prayers are gratitude, prayers of gratitude. I also do prayers of protection for, loved ones, family, friends, clients, community, country, and the earth. And that just kind of sets me in motion for the day, putting that like kind of, as I said, spiritual seatbelt on, and then a little bit of self-care, and setting intention for having that best day ever. And the main intention for me is, reminding myself that it's not about how other people show up. It's about how I respond to it. And so I always want to make sure that I remind myself that I want to be the person I wish everybody else was. And that to me is the greatest recipe for having the best day ever.
I think that is really important to talk about, because you don't have to be religious to take that time to set that intention for the day, and having faith, that even faith in yourself, that you can be the best version of yourself today, and setting that as part of your intention. It's so important to set intention for the day. And it really depends what your definition of a successful day is. But I, for myself, have a very similar page there, where every day I want to set an intention that I show up kind, patient, I hold space and give people grace, and I want to be that inspiration to others. So doing these kind of foundational pieces in the morning to allow me to get to that place is tremendously helpful in stepping into, whether or not you believe in a higher power or God, or it's not even about that, right? It's about believing that you can be the best version of yourself, and having faith that you have the strength and the grace to handle what comes at you. And the other part of that of faith is that we always have the ability to change our perspective on the things that happen to us. And so if we have one of those mornings where things aren't necessarily going our way, we get the pop tire, whatever the case may be, changing our perspective might look like having faith that we are given this challenge to prove to ourselves that we are strong enough to overcome it, or to learn a new skill, or to give ourselves an opportunity to practice patience and practice calm and practice the things that we talk about. Now, you could go the other way and you could just say, man, this is, bad luck, what a crappy day. But we always have control over how we perceive things and what we make out of the things that happen to us. We don't have a lot of control in life, but that is the one area of control we do have. And so
Yep.
sometimes just taking a step back and giving ourselves the opportunity to reframe a challenging conversation or a challenging situation through strengths and through kind of that positive psychology lens can be tremendously helpful. And I just want to add to that there is science behind getting some sunlight and some movement in the morning, and
Right.
that we need vitamin D to be happy and to not feel depressed or feel like you're in a funk. So vitamin D can be very important. But we also know that, and I was surprised to learn that you just need to move for 10 minutes to get that serotonin and dopamine boost in your body. And if you don't know, serotonin and dopamine kind of regulates joy and regulates our ability to feel happiness and to feel calm. We can get into a whole nother conversation. Perhaps we might have another topic on addiction and how we might look to unhealthier habits for serotonin and dopamine boost, because nowadays the phone can also do that. But we know that the phone gives you a serotonin and dopamine boost for about 20 minutes, and then you're more dependent on it. So you have to come back and get that other fix. Where exercise, the serotonin and dopamine is going to last longer in your body. So there's just ways to kind of assess and kind of audit, where am I getting my serotonin and dopamine boost? And if you're not kind of a science person, that's okay. You can think of it from, what are the things that I'm doing for stress reduction, or I'm doing to give myself like a little bit of joy or a little bit of calm, or a little bit of happy, and then start putting it in the lane of, is this something that's going to have a long-term healthy benefit for me, or is this a short-term boost with a long-term disadvantage to my mental health? And so building our toolbox is so important, that all of us have our healthy things that we do to create that serotonin and dopamine. Diet is so important as well, right? I'm sure you've heard of the hangries. When you're hungry and cranky at the same time, I'll have a client, will do a 1 o'clock session, and just, I'm so angry, my day's da 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 da. And I'll just stop. What did you eat today? Well, I haven't had time to eat. It's like, okay. Like, I want you to take a bite of the protein bar. Drink
Having
some
a
water.
best meal includes food.
Yeah, right. Because food is so connected to our mood. So that is part of our foundational piece. When we talk about our foundational work, we're talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What did you eat? Are you getting enough exercise? Are you drinking enough water? Did you get enough sleep? Are you doing your self-care, brushing your
Covering the basics.
Covering the basics. Yeah, exactly. Covering the basics. But I think the most important concept here to drill home is that every day can be the best day ever, and every day can continue to be the best day ever. And it doesn't mean bad things aren't going to happen. That's not what we're saying. We have no control over that. It's that we are going to get stronger, and we are going to get bigger ourselves, so we can hold space for the things that come at us. And instead of those things bringing us down, perhaps we can even get to a place where we bring the people up around us that are also impacted by it. Look, life is hard. We're not going to sugarcoat that.
And starting slow, starting slow. Look, anytime we make a change, sometimes we can feel some resistance, again, especially if we're not morning people. But I tell you, these small little tweaks to your morning will be a huge return I'm going to say, on your investment in your time. I had a teacher once, and I loved this. She said everything in life kind of comes down to potato chips or carrots. And you're like, huh? And she's like, well, when you're real hungry, you're starving, you come home and there's a bag of your favorite potato chips on the counter, and there's also a bag of raw carrots. Which one are you going for? Most of us are going for the bag of potato chips. So in the moment, you have that instant gratification, but no long-term healthy benefits. Now, if you eat the carrots, in the moment, not so maybe as enjoyable instant gratification as the potato chips, but lots of long-term health benefits. So sometimes when we're making changes, and I still use this to this day, I'll be like potato chips or carrots, so maybe pushing that snooze button again might be the potato chips, that extra 10 minutes, but no long-term benefits. So getting yourself up and out and implementing some of the suggestions we've given you, might feel again like a little bit of resistance, but just give it a little bit of time. And I promise you, the long-term benefits are going to be so worth it. And all these tips that you're learning in the podcasts that we offer each week, we're helping you to actually have life tools so that no matter what shows up in your life, you'll have the response. You'll have that kind of programming that you'll be able to, what I call, stay in the flow. And we have an amazing course coming up that will give you the life skills either to eventually become a certified life coach or to at least think like one. And I think, G, you were going to get into some of the details about that. And I'd like you to look into it on our website to get the details, because it's coming up soon and you're not going to want to miss it. It's an 8-week course available to everybody.
Before we get into the course where we are going to be breaking this down and teaching a lot of these life skills, I just wanted to end by saying that I love this statement that the cost of a healthy choice is in the present, but the payoff is in the future. And the benefit of an unhealthy choice is in the present, but the cost is in the future.
That's so good.
If you really wrap your head around that, that's why it's so much easier to reach for the bag of potato chips. But when you really get that, it helps you in that moment think about it. No, because the potato chips are going to give me a boost of salty, kind of gratification that's going to last about 15 minutes, going to make me feel terrible tomorrow. Whereas the carrots, it's a harder choice now, but I'm going to feel better to tomorrow. So it's always deciding who you're working for and really making that commitment to work for your future self. Set your future self up for success with the little.
And not to give carrots a bad name.
I love carrots. I would have chosen the carrots. I mean, generally put a little hummus, little carrots and hummus.
My life, I definitely would have chosen the potato chips. Now at this point in my life, it's a no-brainer, and I do enjoy carrots, but it's just an example. So for those of you who are out there,
understand.
Hey, I love carrots. It's like, yeah, I do too. I'm just giving an example.
Love carrots. I'm a big carrot fan. We're not carrot hating, so we don't need to get canceled over carrot hating here. We love carrots. But these are just some of the topics that we're talking about in our courses that we offer online, where you get live courses with us every week, every Wednesday for 75 minutes. We have our next course starting April 2nd. We call this course the fundamentals, which is based off these foundational principles of just really checking all of the boxes of being the best person you can be. And we talk a lot about healthy habit and routine. We even do a little bit about feng shui and cleanliness, honesty and integrity. And we're really calling this course Ancient Wisdom for Modern Wellness, because it's based off of thousands of years of research on how to create the best possible life for you. So that's phase 1. That's an 8-week course that's offered in April. Then we have our second component of that, which we're calling the master course version of this, called the essentials. We recommend both, obviously, if you're in the area of self-help and self-work. But you can definitely check that out on our website, www.globalholisticcoaching.com. If you have any questions, you can reach us at globalholisticcoaching@gmail.com, or you can just go ahead and put your questions in the comments box below. Next week, we will be teaching our awesome retreat in Costa Rica, our wellness retreat. So we're hosting from Costa Rica, so you can live vicariously through us and see kind of the beautiful backdrop. But next week, we'll be in Costa Rica, and we'll be posting there. So we'll have some really fun topics next week as well.
And I just want to throw in before we say good day, I want to throw in we're talking about the best day ever, and I mentioned the mornings being the foundation for the whole day, and the fundamentals 8-week course, we call that the foundation for life. And I just wanted to kind of reiterate the importance of this 8-week course. It's life tools that really cover so many areas, pretty much every area of life. So the foundation for life. Okay, look forward to seeing you all from Costa Rica, and wish you were all coming with us.
I wish you're all coming with us too. And one more thing too is that if you're interested in the fundamentals course, we do offer scholarships and sliding scale. So don't let payment be a deterrent. If you're in this trying to be the best version of yourself work, we want to support you 100%. So reach out, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.